My name is Sarah, and I've been supporting my husband selflessly since before we got married. But then my husband Daniel had a complete attitude shift when he changed jobs. He started disrespecting me, and, to top it all off, while I was back at my parents' place for the birth of our child, he had the audacity to bring his affair partner home. I returned home quietly and decided to take action. Can I really teach my cheating husband a lesson? My husband is cheating on me and doesn't notice me when I return home quietly from maternity leave at my parents' house. Will you listen to the story of how I was cheated on during my maternity leave? Cheating while his wife is going through the challenges of childbirth? What a despicable husband. Please, tell me more. I'm 31 years old and my husband is 33, 2 years older than me. We started dating because I supported him as a colleague in sales at our previous workplace. He's good at sales pitches, but struggles with paperwork and computers. Being the supportive person I am, I made various arrangements to make his work easier.
Thanks to you, Sarah, my sales performance has been steadily improving. Thank you, Sarah. I wish I could make you happy too.
From there, our relationship began. We saw each other every weekday at work and spent weekends on dates. The days with my gentle and calm husband were so enjoyable. Then, around a year and a half into our relationship, my husband and I decided to get married. My husband suggested changing jobs when we got married.
Although the workload will be more demanding than my current job, I want to challenge myself in a nationwide company to test my abilities. It might be tough for you, Sarah. In return, I'll earn steadily and protect you, Sarah.
I understand. You only live once. Let's give it a shot. I'll do what I can do. As a result of getting married and my husband's job change, I became a full-time housewife and started supporting my husband. He wasn't the most skilled at handling things, so he had quite a hard time at his new job at first. Thanks for your hard work every day. I've prepared you lunch for today.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll eat this and do my best.
I printed out the materials you were preparing.
Sarah, can you practice the presentation with me?
Sure. Let's do our best. To support my husband's efforts, I did everything I could. Thanks to that, his sales performance gradually improved. Around that time, my husband's company held a family barbecue event. The company has a family-oriented culture, and the handling of such events is highly regarded. Understanding this, I naturally participated. I conducted myself politely to improve impressions of my husband. My proactive attitude even made my husband's boss smile.
Having a caring wife like yours waiting is a blessing.
And then suddenly entering this conversation was my husband's colleague, Morgan. Really? If I had a wife like this, I wouldn't be able to see any other women. Did she really need to use the word other women and put it in the conversation? Even though I thought so, I responded with a smile. I had occasionally heard stories about my husband's colleague, Morgan. Morgan is 28 years old. She is quite capable at work, but she has a strong personality and a prickly tongue, which makes her prone to conflict. As soon as my husband's boss left the table, I personally came to experience the characteristics of Morgan that I had heard from my husband. Sarah, you're seen as a good wife, but you're not actually working, right? Isn't it boring every day? And don't you feel like you're not needed in society? With a slight smile, Morgan subtly asserted her dominance. Her strong comments from our first meeting caught me off guard for a moment. But as an adult, I had to respond calmly. That's not true. Supporting my husband's goals is also an important role for me. When I responded firmly like that, Morgan seemed frustrated in her reply. I see. Well, that's good for you. With just those words, she left. Even in large companies, departmental supervisors and colleagues are limited. In a workplace where there are women with such strong personalities, I thought my husband must have had a hard time. Just around the time of that barbecue, my husband's sales performance began to sharply rise. Congratulations, that's amazing. You're in the top 5 for performance.
I might even win MVP by the end of the year.
Good news continued, and it was around that time that I found out I was pregnant. Looking back now, I feel like that was the peak of happiness. From there, gradually, dark clouds began to gather. As my husband's sales performance improved, his ego grew bigger and bigger. And I, suffering from severe early pregnancy symptoms, couldn't manage to support my husband as before.
Hey, where's today's lunch?
Sorry, I'm really struggling with morning sickness. Cooking is tough.
What? If it were work, you wouldn't take a break over something like this. You're lucky, aren't you? As soon as you got pregnant, you can make excuses and abandon your duties.
Certainly, I couldn't keep up with housework as usual, but I didn't think it warranted such harsh words. Daniel's remarks weren't meant for a wife during pregnancy. Day by day, my husband's attitude became more arrogant, and the words directed at me became increasingly harsh.
I'm glad I started earning more money. If I was still as poor as you, I wouldn't be able to survive. Ha.
What's that supposed to mean? Why are you saying such horrible things? You've changed.
It's the truth, isn't it? I'm the one who's providing for you. I'm the superior one here.
Your attitude is really starting to get on my nerves.
What's with that face? If you can't even do basic housework, at least try to make me feel better with your attitude.
Don't say anything else nasty. It's bad for the baby. A barrage of remarks from my husband that I never thought possible before. His drastic change is unbelievable. All I hear are remarks that pierce my heart. It was really tough. Moreover, since then, my husband's words and actions have only become more severe. He continued to stay out late due to work and started leaving suddenly for business trips. After that, my early pregnancy symptoms began to ease. There are indeed many issues with my husband's words and actions, but first, I tried to improve our relationship from my side. I made lunches, spoke kindly, and tried to treat him as I always had, unchanged. Despite these efforts, my considerations seemed in vain as my husband continued with his disrespectful attitude.
What? Lunch? Sure, I like to eat lunch and take a break. I'm earning enough now, you know? I don't need you to make me a cheap lunch. I can eat steak for lunch now. I feel like we're living in different worlds now. Oh, and don't waste money. You're just a housewife. I'm a top salesman. We're on different levels.
What's gotten into you? You aren't the kind of person to say that. What happened?
I'm different from you, who always stays the same. I'm always improving.
Before long, even his face is different from my old husband. Despairing at his attitude, I decided to go back to my parents' house to give birth. I was relieved to be away from my husband, who had become short-tempered. Honestly, I felt relieved after returning to my parents' home. Soon after that, I safely gave birth to a baby girl. After things settled down and I returned home from the maternity leave, an incident occurred. When I unlocked the door and entered the house, there were women's shoes I didn't recognize at the entrance. I held my breath as I entered, and from the bedroom, I could hear my husband laughing.
Life without any interference is the best. Ha ha ha.
She always has such a gloomy face, like she's suffocating.
Yeah, it's annoying, seriously.
He hasn't noticed at all that I've returned from my hometown. Through the door, the conversation between my husband and his affair partner, Morgan, is clearly audible. Despite being a stay-at-home wife, she can't even do housework properly, and her attitude is terrible. Pregnancy isn't a disease, so stop acting so spoiled.
That's right. You taught me that, Morgan. I thought I'd try to re-educate her properly, but she doesn't listen at all. I'd rather marry you than some ugly girl like her.
I wish we could get married soon. It would be nice to clearly break up. They start flirting right then and there, my husband and his affair partner. Both my husband bringing her home and his affair partner Morgan being so bold are beyond belief. Taking advantage of not being noticed, I quietly left home and returned to my parents' house. That's a decisive scene of infidelity. Wow, your husband was cheating with that colleague, Morgan. You didn't confront them on the spot. Was it better to leave quietly? My husband's foolish behavior would have shocked the old me, but at that moment I felt completely different. My husband showed me decisive evidence of his infidelity, and deep down I felt like laughing. Of course, that conversation was recorded. In fact, I knew in advance that my husband would bring his affair partner home that day. Returning to my parents' house for childbirth allowed me to physically distance myself from my husband and regain my composure. When I talked to my parents about my husband's recent behavior, they were more understanding than I was.
Sarah, you've been supporting him since his previous job. He's really ungrateful. Remember? That boy couldn't even set up his smartphone or tablet properly, so you did it all for him.
Moreover, that tablet, he quickly grew tired of it and stopped using it. Come to think of it, that tablet was here. It might be useful during my hospitalization, so maybe I should revive it. During our move after marriage, I had kept the old tablet that my husband grew tired of and stored it at my parents' house. It had been left unused for a while, but when I tried charging it, it started up as usual. That tablet still has various settings from when my husband tried to use it instead of his smartphone. And then I tapped the WhatsApp button, and it was still synced with my husband's current WhatsApp. Come to think of it, I set up WhatsApp for him too. I fondly remembered the good times. The first thing I saw was Morgan's name at the top of the chats with a familiar icon. The latest chat history said, Today was fun too. Let's meet again. The moment I saw that, I understood everything. My husband was cheating with Morgan. With trembling hands, I cautiously scrolled back through the chat history. There was a bunch of sweet talk between my husband and Morgan and lots of abusive remarks from Morgan about me. Even though she can't earn money, she's just a sulky wife. How pitiful. I'll comfort you plenty. Making homemade lunch is so old-fashioned and poor-looking nowadays. Next time, I'll tell you about a delicious lunch spot. Those remarks were exactly the kind of things my husband, who had completely changed, often said. I realized Morgan was the source of his transformation. Wow, your husband seems easily influenced. The insults towards you were exactly Morgan's words. He was full of confidence, but it was all just parroting what his mistress fed him. I've completely given up on my embarrassingly shameful husband. I have a child on the way. I must protect the child, no matter what. For that reason, I have to handle this firmly. With that in mind, I resolved to proceed steadily with the preparations for childbirth while simultaneously considering ways to punish my husband. First, I did not tell my husband that the child had been born. It was to ensure that he wouldn't return home just yet. The conversations between my husband and Morgan on WhatsApp were all visible from the tablet. On the day when my foolish husband foolishly promised to bring Morgan home, without contacting my husband, I returned home. I intended to confront and punish him right then and there. Because the real conversation I overheard between them was too terrible. I realized I couldn't let it go like that. Even though the due date had passed significantly, I insisted to my husband that the baby had not been born yet. At first, my husband, who had been gleefully enjoying his extended affair period, began to show signs of panic. It's been quite a while since the due date passed, but the baby still hasn't been born. Looks like she won't be coming home yet.
Is that so? Is everything really okay?
I don't know. Even the doctor says this isn't common. It might be due to strong stress during pregnancy. Upon hearing those words, even my usually composed husband was at a loss for words. It seems he cares more for the child, even if he treats me harshly. But it's too late for regrets now. After thoroughly tormenting my husband, I contacted his boss and discussed his affair. Actually, my husband and Morgan from the company are having an affair. I'm sorry for bringing this up so suddenly. There's no one else I can talk to about this.
I can't believe it. They're both excellent employees, you know.
I couldn't believe it either. Can you take a look at this? I showed screenshots from WhatsApp on the tablet and recordings of that conversation from the day I got back home. My husband and his colleague Morgan are having an affair at work. This behavior also disrupts the company's operations. The righteous boss was almost overcome by the raw audio that was difficult to listen to.
That's awful. How could they do such a thing? Sarah, please stay strong. We'll discuss this internally right away and decide on the appropriate actions. I'm willing to assist in any way possible.
Afterward, following internal deliberations, severe disciplinary action was taken for severely disrupting company discipline. Neither Morgan nor Daniel knew I was the one who reported them. I calmly called my husband to share the news of our baby's birth. Our baby girl has finally been born. She's absolutely adorable.
Congratulations, Sarah. You really did your best. I've got to tell you something. Are you going to make it home?
I've only just given birth. I can't leave. What's wrong?
I'm really sorry. My affair with a colleague was exposed and I've been suspended from work. I'm truly sorry. Please ask the company to go easy on me. This is how it is.
What? How could you do something so terrible? We can't discuss this over the phone. If you're on suspension, you won't be going to work, right? Come over here and talk to me face to face. Then, immediately after, he came with his parents to my family's house to apologize.
Sarah, please, forgive me. I've done something unforgivable. This time my son has caused a lot of trouble, and I'm truly sorry.
Daniel didn't hesitate to express his deep remorse, and even his embarrassed father-in-law lowered his head in apology.
I miss you so much, and it was just a whim. This is how it is.
My son is also reflecting on this. Please, forgive him.
No matter how much of a whim it was, it's quite something to have an affair with a colleague while your wife is away giving birth. That's right. It's a completely shameful act. I'm sorry. I'm truly remorseful. Sarah, please ask the company for mercy on my behalf.
So what you're really trying to say is that you're only concerned about saving your own skin? Are you really sorry?
Of course I am. I feel terrible. The only one I truly love is you, Sarah. I'll cherish you from now on, so please forgive me.
The way my husband was begging me with tears in his eyes was worthy of a Best Actor award. If I hadn't known any better, I might have been fooled. But my husband, who is clueless about technology, has no idea that I can see his WhatsApp messages with Morgan clear as day. The conversation between my husband and Morgan before they came to my parents' house to apologize was full of words that I can't even bear to repeat.
I'm going to put on a tearful act for my ugly wife now.
You really have to do your best. I can't believe I'm getting this kind of punishment. Don't worry, she's a nice person, so if you cry and beg her, she'll definitely forgive you. Knowing all this, I told my husband coldly. I remember everything from your attitude towards me during pregnancy until my return home after childbirth. You've said so many hurtful things to me, haven't you? Do you understand what you've done? As my husband and our daughter's father, you've completely failed. I will never forgive you, and you have no right to see our daughter. If you understand, why don't you go home and reflect on your actions?
What do you mean? That's not how you should talk to me.
That's right. My child is apologizing so sincerely. Besides, I've heard that you've been treating him poorly too.
My son has a future too. What will you do if you ruin it all for him over one mistake?
I don't know what he has been spouting, but I have had to endure a lot of verbal abuse. In fact, I've been trying to repair our relationship, but it's him who has refused to make any effort to meet me halfway. And that awful language seems to have been influenced by the woman with whom he had an affair.
Stop harping on the past. Do you not care what happens to my life? How heartless can you be? Enough already. As Sarah said, there's no room for sympathy for you.
My calm explanations and the indignant attitude of my parents gradually weakened my in-laws.
Didn't Sarah treat you coldly?
What exactly is going on here?
Are you still trying to make excuses and blame Sarah? You're too selfish. It's unbelievable. Please just go home. Anyway, we're going home now.
I'm sorry. With awkwardness, my in-laws and husband lowered their heads several times and they left. It seemed like my husband was trying to get his parents on his side, but he couldn't possibly hide what he had done. The backs of my husband's family as they left were slumped, and I could hear my husband being scolded by his parents. In the end, after this discussion, my husband lost the favor of his parents and lost anyone who would support him. He tried to cover up with Morgan with a fake WhatsApp message saying, I managed to fix it somehow. After that, my husband called me several times asking for forgiveness. Knowing everything, I made a proposal to my husband. Are you really sorry? I don't intend to continue with you anymore. I want you to pay compensation and child support and get a divorce.
Once we divorce, you'll plead with the company to reduce my penalty, won't you?
You've been calling me like this every day, haven't you? So I'll tell them exactly about your current attitude. And also, I still can't forgive Morgan. I will also claim compensation from her. Although my husband seemed dissatisfied, he reluctantly agreed, perhaps realizing there was no other choice. It seemed like my husband desperately wanted to get back on the career track, so he quickly proceeded with the divorce proceedings. I secured legal commitments for compensation and child support payments and ensured a written agreement for Morgan's payments. That cheating couple, who were so full of themselves, can't oppose anything now. Once everything was settled, I fulfilled my promise to my husband. I had made a promise to my husband. I will convey your current attitude as it is. As promised, I consulted with my supervisor about the chat history where, despite my efforts to be respectful, abusive language continued, and also about my husband's remarks at home. Of course, I also presented all the logs where Morgan and him were engaged in mutual disparagement behind the scenes of his apology calls. Furthermore, upon further investigation of his conversations, I uncovered conclusive evidence. It turns out my husband and Morgan were dating during business travel and even during company-sponsored trips. They had neglected their work duties during work hours and misappropriated company funds for personal use. This was not just an affair. It was a serious violation of company rules. I also compiled all of these acts and reported them to my husband's supervisor. This was where my administrative skills from my previous job came in handy. Based on my time-stamped investigative report, an internal information investigation and interviews were conducted. As a result, my husband and Morgan were both fired. The two lost their jobs together in the worst possible way, and their WhatsApp was now a battleground of accusations and insults. It's all your fault. It's your fault I'm getting this punishment. And I wouldn't be in this mess if I hadn't been fooled by you. Their insults echoed each other, and they were a perfect match. My husband was completely dejected and no longer contacted me. However, I was surprised when the tenacious Morgan came to see me directly. Wow, Morgan's sudden attack. Is she coming to you after having an affair herself? That's not normal. Since I promised to pay compensation, I thought the punishment would be reduced. Being fired is so unfair. It's your fault.
I probably told them the truth about the two of you. If you have any complaints, why don't you tell the company to redo the investigation?
That's impossible. Don't be ridiculous. Your husband is nothing special, because he was annoying with his loving wife's lunches and barbecues. I just entertained him a little, and he came running eerily. I didn't mean for this to happen.
Morgan remained as detestable as she was the first time I met her at that awkward barbecue. My husband's temperament, which had changed so much from his pre-marriage personality, might have been poisoned by Morgan's toxic influence. But now my husband has also sided with her. I will protect myself and my daughter. I have made that decision, so I am not afraid. I told Morgan firmly. You lost your job and all your money for such an insignificant man. If you hadn't done such a foolish thing, you and my husband might have been more successful. It's a shame that both of you are so talented, but I was fortunate enough to realize my husband's foolishness early on. Thank you, Morgan. Goodbye. Please don't come here again. If you do come again, I will call the police. Morgan's frustrated face comes to mind. Sarah really gave it back well. She looked so frustrated, almost stomping her feet in anger. Since then, Morgan hasn't tried to get close to me again. With this settled between my husband and Morgan, I've enrolled my daughter in nursery and found a new job. My husband no longer treats me badly, and I don't have to take care of him, so I'm making good progress at work every day. I receive regular child support to raise my daughter, and I've been able to start a settled new life. Perhaps due to my confidence, I often get acknowledged at work. My self-esteem, which declined during my marriage, is now increasing rapidly. My husband's former boss has continued to support me even after the disciplinary action was decided. By the way, they also told me how they're doing now. Both my husband and Morgan have received disciplinary dismissals from the company, so it seems difficult for them to find re-employment in any other industry. My husband can only do day labor jobs and don't require a resume. Morgan is also living a life juggling multiple part-time jobs. Moreover, at these part-time jobs, Morgan is constantly causing trouble with her notorious pride and sharp tongue. Rumor has it that Morgan has quit and been hired again multiple times, making her quite the topic of conversation within the company. It's amazing how rumors spread. Rumors are also spreading that my husband was verbally abusive to me when I was pregnant. This has put him in a bad light, and he is being gossiped about everywhere. Neither my husband nor Morgan knows that their entire conversation with the tablet was recorded. I don't need to look at that tablet ever again. It was tough in many ways, but I've become much stronger from this experience, so I feel like I can face anything that comes my way. Sarah, who was able to handle the difficult times from pregnancy to childbirth calmly, was amazing. It's good that both her husband and his affair partner have been properly disciplined. You got the evidence, you got the just punishment, and you got them to make amends. Thank you for listening up to this point. From now on, I'll keep pushing forward positively with my daughter. Sarah has always supported her husband kindly since before they got married. However, influenced by a malicious female colleague, her husband turned to verbal abuse and infidelity towards Sarah. But actions like these always have consequences. With clear evidence and the backing of a principled boss, both her husband and Morgan faced strict sanctions. As a result, the futures these wrongdoers had envisioned were completely cut off. A foolish man who repays kindness with malice, and a malicious woman who covets what belongs to others. These kinds of villains might be closer to you than you think. Let's not carry burdens alone and instead seek help from those around us to ensure wrongdoers are held accountable.
My cheating husband insisted no contact during his business trip. When his company caught fire, he didn't reach out, resulting in a hilarious twist.
I'm Patricia. I'm 38 years old. I manage a cafe named Cafe Pani, which I inherited from my grandparents. Yep, I'm the owner. Our cafe has a retro charm that keeps our longtime regulars coming back and attracts a lot of young people too.
Patricia, omelet and spaghetti, table number 3. Lemon squash and cream soda for table number 8.
Got it. During busy times at the cafe, my retired parents, who are already at home, come to help out like this. Work is going smoothly, and in my personal life, I've been married to Joshua, who is 4 years older than me for 5 years. Joshua was originally a regular customer at our place, and he always orders an egg sandwich and an Americano in the morning. During break time, Joshua always orders the pudding without fail. We bonded over our mutual love for pudding, which led to us dating and eventually getting married. Joshua runs his own company, though it's a small one. We don't have children, but we live happily together. Apparently, Joshua cut ties with his parents during his college days due to a bad relationship with them, so I've never actually met my parents-in-law. Because of that, it's really easy going without the hassle of dealing with them. But there's been something on my mind lately. It's that Joshua's been increasing his weekend work and constantly carrying his smartphone around. It's not an exaggeration to say that Joshua's and my days off hardly ever match. Joshua follows the regular calendar, while my peak days are holidays. However, it seems Joshua has been going to work even on his days off recently. And not just that, he's been carrying his smartphone everywhere, even to the toilet and in the bath. And don't you think there's reason to suspect he might be cheating? That's why I asked him this. Hey, you've been busy lately? It seems like you're going to the office even on your days off.
Yeah. It's an important time now, so I feel like I need to work hard.
I see. Also, you seem really absorbed in your smartphone.
Oh, well, you never know when I might get a call from a client. I keep it handy so I can check messages right away. Oh, speaking of which, I just got a message.
Joshua left his seat looking pleased. While I understand not wanting to talk about work, that cheerful demeanor is just unsettling. And constantly fiddling with his smartphone late at night, supposedly due to client calls. No matter how you think about it, it's suspicious. I was feeling uneasy on my own, but I decided to consult with my parents, who were kindly helping me. Hey, there's something I'm concerned about. When the lunch rush settled down, I decided to talk to my parents.
About the menu? You know, I've been thinking we should add some fancy amuse-bouches to the menu.
No, it's not about the menu.
It would be great to have some trendy drinks and amuse-bouches, though. It could become a place for men to relax after work. Can you be serious for a moment? Whoops, got scolded by your mom. So, what's on your mind?
Well, it's actually about Joshua. He's been working on weekends more often and won't part with his smartphone. My parents looked skeptical after hearing me out.
That does sound suspicious. What do you think? You're right. I'm with your father on this. Not letting go of his smartphone, huh? If it's not something he's always done, it's definitely concerning.
I knew you'd think that.
Patricia, act quickly. My acquaintance Terry runs a private investigation firm. How about asking them to investigate?
Dad, do you know someone like that?
Oh yeah. Terry is great at his job and has an impressive track record. I can even contact him for you.
Really? Then maybe I should ask him.
Great. Leave it to me.
When my father said this, he immediately called Terry.
Patricia, no matter what the outcome is, you need to stand firm. Your dad and I have your back.
Yeah, thanks.
Also, until the results come in, don't make any rash moves or get into arguments. Keep a calm mindset. Let it play out.
Got it, I understand. Just talking to my parents made me feel a bit relieved. It seems Terry will start the investigation right away. The results will take about 2 weeks to come in. 2 weeks can feel long or short. But then, just 2 days after requesting the investigation, I received unexpected news from Joshua. He came home while I was folding laundry.
Honey, I'm home.
Welcome back. You're early today.
Yeah, it's sudden, but I've been assigned on a long-term business trip starting tomorrow. I've been busy preparing for it.
Huh? Long term?
It's a week-long trip to Hawaii.
I've never heard of him going on such long trips before. Joshua seems somewhat cheerful. This could mean I decided to dig a bit deeper. Are you going alone?
Huh? Oh, no. It's with Ken.
Ken is someone Joshua heavily relies on, almost like his right-hand person at work, I heard. Oh, really? Even so, it's quite sudden, isn't it? Do business trips usually get decided at the last minute like this?
Yeah, they suddenly told me it's tomorrow. It's an important business partner, so I couldn't refuse.
Where in Hawaii is the company located?
Well, where was it again?
You don't know where the company of your important business partner is located? Just relying on Ken for everything won't cut it, you know.
Yeah.
I said that and started folding the remaining laundry. And then, the next day, he had to pick up documents from the office before the business trip, so Joshua left earlier than usual. It must have been a few hours after Joshua left for the trip. I received a call from Ken, who was supposed to be on the trip with him.
Hello, Patricia. Sorry for the sudden call. It's Ken.
Ken sounded quite panicked. Ken, what's wrong? Why are you so flustered?
Oh, well, actually, the company is on fire.
What?
It's a fire. I couldn't reach the president, so I ended up calling you, Patricia.
I see. I'll try to contact Joshua from my side. Wait, weren't you supposed to be on a business trip with Joshua?
Business trip? What are you talking about?
Just as I expected. My instincts seem to be right. No, but for now, this is no time to talk about that. His company is in serious trouble because of the fire. After finishing the call with Ken, I immediately tried to call Joshua. Then, fortunately, Joshua contacted me at that same timing.
Hello, Patricia. I've arrived safely.
Oh, Joshua, Even though I had tried to speak, Joshua cut me off and started saying only what he wanted to say.
I have an important business negotiation starting now. I don't want to think about anything else during the trip. Absolutely do not contact me.
In the background, there was a high-pitched woman's voice. Even though he thinks I can't hear it, I can hear everything clearly. Joshua, who thought I didn't know anything, was just laughing and telling lies. He even says something like this.
Well, since you're likely to contact me, I'll just turn off my phone. I won't be back for a week. See ya.
Bring it on. Fine, if you want to play around, feel free to do so. When you come back, it's straight to hell for you. Regarding the company fire and everything, Ken handled everything. He really deserves credit for dealing with the affairs in place of the cheating president. Thanks to him, I found out the ridiculous reason behind the fire. Furthermore, the investigation results from Terry arrived in less than 2 weeks. They arrived the day before Joshua returned home. Today, my parents are helping out at the cafe as well. During the quiet morning hours, Joshua rushed into the shop with a frantic look on his face.
Patricia, why didn't you contact me?
Oh, you're back.
What are you so calm about? The company caught on fire.
So it seems. Since Ken handled everything for you, you should at least thank him properly.
That's not the issue here. If only you had contacted me earlier.
Oh, was it someone else who told me not to contact you? I followed my husband's orders faithfully. Even if I get praised for it, I don't think I deserve any complaints, right?
But there are times and situations...
More importantly, take this. I presented Joshua with signed divorce papers.
What is this?
Can't you see? Divorce papers.
That's... I understand, but...
At that moment, my parents approached.
Oh boy. Well, that's what you get for doing something that leads to divorce. I just had to go on a business trip.
Huh? Weren't you going with Ken? But Ken was here. Or maybe there was a female employee named Ken? Don't underestimate me thinking I don't know anything. The investigations are already done.
I have an acquaintance who works in a detective agency. Joshua, you already understand, don't you?
That's right, Joshua. I've arranged for someone who knows about the details of the fire.
Eh? President!
Ken appeared. Because the president was fooling around, Ken handled everything. And do you know what caused the fire?
What?
You caused the fire. You!
What?
You stopped by the office before you went on your business trip.
I went there, but nothing happened at that time.
Before going to Hawaii with Ashley, you came to the company to meet your other affair partner, Marla, right? So it turns out this guy had not just one affair partner. Hey, you were smoking in the boiler room at that time, right? Marla testified to that. That careless smoking was the cause of the fire this time. Since you brought it upon yourself, nobody can blame anyone else. Tough luck, huh?
So, also regarding giving employees time off, since it was something brought about by the president himself, there is an obligation to pay their wages. Huh? Since it's the company's decision to have employees take time off, there's a duty to pay 60% of their average wages. Is that serious? Oh man.
Oh dear. That payment is quite a burden too, isn't it?
By the way, we've also received a claim for damages from the building owner regarding the fire this time. The building itself was non-smoking. You, as the president, knew, right?
It must be tough to handle all these payments, but don't forget my compensation too, okay?
Patricia, spare me from that. Being responsible for your own mistakes is what being an adult is all about.
Yes, I'll be claiming compensation not just from you, but also from Ashley and Marla, who went on the trip with you. Be prepared to pay up.
If you don't have any means to earn, I can introduce you to someone, okay? Put your body on the line and work hard, and maybe things will somehow work out, right?
Thus, Joshua was burdened with compensation to me and damages to the building owner. The company ended up with an enormous debt due to paying employees leave allowances and compensation for inconveniences caused to clients and others. As a result, the company eventually went bankrupt. Joshua was essentially imprisoned in a debt spiral that he could never repay in his lifetime. At first, it seems he tried working multiple jobs to make ends meet. Since he was late in repaying my compensation, he ended up boarding a fishing boat owned by my father's acquaintance. Thanks to that, my compensation was promptly paid. Even the cheating partners transferred compensation. It seems they borrowed money from a loan shark to manage the money. Well, thanks to that, the two learned about the hella debt, but I didn't know about it. On the other hand, my coffee shop continues to thrive. In fact, our Cafe Pani was recently featured in the local magazine. Its popularity has further increased. Today, Corey, who is also in charge of the local magazine, is here to discuss the next issue.
Patricia, next time I'd really like to feature Cafe Pani's spaghetti in the magazine's next issue. If I could kindly get a recipe, it would be an honor. Hey, if you start giving out recipes, won't that interfere with business? Please find a way to manage that. Just because you give out the recipe doesn't mean it'll easily taste like our restaurants. Oh yeah? If people can make this spaghetti at home, won't our customers decrease?
Dad, it'll be fine. Understood. Then shall we proceed with your plan, Corey?
Thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
I wonder if we'll get more customers. I'm excited. I'm Melanie, a 30-year-old full-time housewife. 6 months ago, I gave birth to our long-awaited child, and I'm currently struggling with my first experience of childcare. My husband Harry, who is the same age as me, and I welcomed a very cute little girl into our lives, whom we named Pearl. Pearl's so adorable when she's sleeping and when she's awake. Every day, I feel overwhelmed with love to the point where I want to eat her up. The adorable Pearl is a real delight to my husband, of course. It's always like this. My husband shows zero interest in our daughter, whether she's crying or laughing. He's engrossed in his smartphone. Meanwhile, I'm slammed with household chores. Harry, Pearl is crying. Can you please take a look? But even when I ask him that... This is how it goes. Really, I can't rely on him. When I found out I was pregnant...
I'll do my best in raising the child, too.
He was so enthusiastic about it. I'm sorry, Pearl. What's wrong? Oh dear, does something cheer you up?
Hey, where's dinner? It's not ready yet.
Oh no, she's crying again. If you want to eat dinner soon, you should help too.
Huh? Housework is the wife's job, right? I'm tired from work.
Well then, can't you wait a little more patiently?
What's that supposed to mean? Are you prioritizing the child over me?
Isn't that obvious?
What's that all about? Fine, I'm going to bed.
What? Harry ended up fleeing to the bedroom. I've been fed up with this situation since Pearl was born. So even when Harry comes home late due to overtime, or says he's on a business trip and is often away from home, I didn't really mind. But it seems that was a mistake. When I was checking the pockets of Harry's pants before doing the laundry, something unexpected came out. Huh? What's this? This is... What came out of the pocket was a small greeting card. The message said, I had a great time on our trip to Jackson Hole. I love you. Signed, Meredith.
Hey, is dinner ready? I'm in the mood for tea today instead of coffee.
At that moment, my husband, just out of bed, came over and started being selfish. Harry, who is Meredith?
Huh?
I showed the message card to my husband.
That's because it's your fault.
Huh?
Since our child was born, you haven't paid any attention to me at all. Meredith thinks about me the most. You're totally different from her.
What's with this attitude of his?
Maybe you think you've won by finding evidence of my affair. A woman who can't give her husband affection deserves to be cheated on. If you had paid attention to me properly, I wouldn't have needed to have an affair. You bear full responsibility for making me have an affair.
It's my fault for your having an affair?
Exactly, because you only care about the child. If you had paid attention to me properly, I wouldn't have had an affair.
Yes, I understand. I'll take responsibility.
Huh?
I'm sorry for making you feel lonely. I'll change my attitude.
Okay.
I quickly bid farewell to my husband. I asked my mother for help to meet my husband's expectations.
If that's the case, leave it to me.
I thought you'd say that. All right, I'm looking forward to seeing Harry's happy face. That night, surprisingly, Harry didn't go to see Meredith and returned home early.
Oh, welcome back. What? Oh, why are you here, Mom? Oh, you're back early. Are you here too, Dad?
Harry seemed surprised that my parents are here.
About this.
Harry looks pale, probably thinking he'll be blamed for the affair by my parents. To give you some attention, since there's no one to look after baby Pearl, who's just been born, I asked my parents.
Huh? Pearl is watching, so don't worry about it and be nice and friendly. Yeah, Pearl's grandpa is here, so it's fine, right? Wait, so that's what's going on?
Thought the affair wouldn't be found out, huh? Too bad, huh? My parents know everything, so they're helping out like this. Unaware of this, Harry looks relieved. Today's dinner is stir-fried tofu, your favorite. Bath first? Dinner first? Or maybe...
We're in front of your parents, you know?
Huh? Or maybe we have a beer toast? I wanted to say that, but I shouldn't have.
Oh, I see. Well, should I go to the bath first?
Okay. Well, then let's go to the bath.
Huh?
I grabbed my husband's arm and took him to the bath. Now it's bath time. Let's quickly take off those grimy clothes and get cleared up.
What are you doing?
Oh my, you don't like baths? No, can do. They're grimy.
No, that's not it. Your dad's also here, so please stop. Let me go in alone.
What? You want to go in alone?
Obviously. Please, I'm begging you, just leave.
And I got kicked out. But I won't give up. Harry, when you wash your hair, make sure to lather the shampoo really well before using it.
I know.
And when rinsing off the shampoo, close your eyes.
I know that too.
Did you wash your hair properly? Shall I rinse it off for you? How about your body? Are you washing behind your ears? Should I wash your back for you? Don't scrub too hard. Gently, gently.
I know, so just leave me alone.
I'm I'm not the type to say I understand when told such things, you know. I rushed to my husband as he got out of the bath. Quickly, I wiped his face with the towel I had prepared.
What are you doing?
Geez, if you don't dry properly, you'll catch a cold. Now, let's have some dinner. Harry looked bewildered as he saw the prepared meal.
I don't have a fork.
Oh, you don't need one. Here, say ah. Me feeding you, that's why.
Oh my, well now. Wait, I can eat by myself.
Oh, don't be shy. I want to take responsibility and pamper you a lot. Here, be careful, it's hot. There you go, say ah.
I can feed myself. Don't be embarrassed just because we're here, huh?
Exactly, don't worry about us, just indulge yourself.
No, it's not that.
Here, say ah.
I am full already, so I'm going to bed.
Oh dear, you must be sleepy, huh? Let me sing you a lullaby, then let's go to sleep. Or maybe you'd like a bedtime story?
No, you'll get tired of doing it alone.
That day I continued to pamper Harry as he wished. I stuck closely by Harry's side, fussing over him incessantly. He seemed completely occupied with me, with no chance to check his phone. It seemed like Harry was waiting for me to fall asleep. To focus on Harry, I had taken a long nap beforehand. I watched over Harry's face as he fell asleep. When Harry woke up in the middle of the night, "What's wrong? Stomach ache? Need to use the bathroom? Thirsty? Want some milk? Had a scary dream?" I kept fussing over him like this. I gave him all this attention, but instead of appreciating it, he seemed worn out. I wonder why. The next day, despite helping with getting ready for work and making breakfast, he still wouldn't show me a smile. If that's how it's going to be...
I have to go to work.
Ah, I'll send you off.
No, really, you don't have to come to my workplace.
It's dangerous, so I'll hold your hand and see you off right in front of the office. And I'll come pick you up, so don't worry.
No, I said it's fine. Aren't you busy too? I'll handle the housework and take care of the child, so you've got free time, Harry. I'll do the shopping for you too, Harry. Plus, I'll join in for the drop-off and pick-up. What? What, is it a bother if I'm around? No, it's not like that. It's such a blessing to have your wife and father-in-law fussing over you, isn't it? I'll carry your bag for you too. With me doing that, you'll be able to hold hands with your wife as much as you want, right? Yes.
Alright, let's go to work. Pearl, Mommy's going now. Oh!
Take care now.
Even after dropping Harry off at work with my father, I didn't forget to give him attention. I sent him WhatsApp messages every hour, and even slipped in some DMs. And if he hadn't read them by lunchtime, I'd call him to give him some attention. I knew when he'd finish work, so I'd wait for him with my father in front of the office. Because if he ran away, I wouldn't be able to give him attention anymore, right? His coworkers at the office seemed puzzled by this, though. "Welcome back, dear. I've been waiting for you." Saying this, I grabbed my husband's hand tightly, causing him to scream.
I'm embarrassed.
Ah, you're blushing. How cute. You must be tired. Let's go home soon. Even after returning home, I didn't stop fussing over him. While my parents watched, I fed him like a baby, but Harry didn't seem very hungry for some reason. To keep my husband from feeling lonely, I'd talk to him outside the bathroom door just like always. And during his bath, I'd talk to him through the door. I've been fussing over him everywhere around the house.
Enough already!
Oh my, what's wrong?
I'm sorry, so please have mercy on me.
Oh, come on. Don't hold back, okay?
Pearl is being watched by her mother.
I've been making up for not paying attention to you from morning till night. I'll keep making up for it. I'm really sorry for making you lonely.
If that's the case, getting a divorce would be much better.
Divorce? No way. It's my fault for not paying attention to you.
Please, stop. It's not Pearl's fault, it's mine. I'm the one at fault.
What is it?
I was having an affair even before Pearl was born. It's not because you stopped paying attention to me that I had an affair. It was because I gave in to temptation. Melanie, no matter how much attention you gave me, I was having an affair with Sarah. So please don't pay attention to me anymore. Please leave me alone.
Ding! You're giving up too soon.
Only lasted 2 days. A man who betrays his wife really doesn't know how to endure anything. No, well, you've got guts to confess to having an affair in front of your in-laws. No, I'm sorry. Hey, you! That's not going to cut it. I remember you promising to take care of Melanie. I deeply apologize for betraying your daughter. And then? I'm truly sorry for not helping with household chores and childcare. So, what are you going to do? What should I do? You coward! I'll divorce and pay compensation and child support for infidelity. I won't have anything to do with Melanie and Pearl. Isn't that right?
I'm already consulting with a lawyer.
What? Are you really going that far?
The lawyers will take care of this all the way until it's settled. I won't let you feel lonely. It seems Harry really didn't want to be paid attention to that much. We quickly agreed on the amount of compensation based on my terms. He also provided information about his affair partner without hiding anything. I was able to receive compensation from both sides. Since Harry's affair partner was someone from his workplace, rumors started circulating after the divorce and both of them ended up resigning voluntarily. They had a casual relationship, so once the affair was exposed, it led to their breakup. After the affair and divorce, Harry was estranged from his parents and lost both his job and family. Now, even if he cries out for attention, no one pays him any mind. It seems he's living a lonely life. After the divorce, I returned to my parents' home and resumed working hard to raise my child and pursue my career. Of course, I can only work hard because of the support from my parents. Mama! Huh? Did you just say Mama? You said Mama, right? Grandma! Grandpa!
Oh, looks like we've got a big one on our hands.
What are you saying? Pearl is already a big shot, you know. Because no matter what, Pearl has the miraculous power to heal us. Thanks to Pearl, I can keep going. My child is truly magnificent.
On the meeting day with my fiancé's family, he texted, "Overslept, let's postpone." When I said he didn't need to come, the man.
I'm Paige, a 25-year-old office worker. After finishing university, I worked hard. Finally, I've started to feel more accustomed to working recently. During my student days, I was fully engaged in playing, studying, and part-time jobs, but being a working adult also brings a different kind of enjoyment, you know? Of course, there were many times when things didn't go well and I felt down. I used to get encouragement from family and friends whenever things didn't go well. But lately, I've gotten better at managing my work-life balance by attending hobby classes or going to the gym after work. Now, as I live these fulfilling days, I'm experiencing a slight change. Actually, I have 2 childhood friends from kindergarten. Cameron, who is 2 years older, and his younger brother, Harry, who is the same age as me. Our houses are just a minute's walk apart. Our families have been close friends. When we were kids...
Paige, Harry, there's a dragonfly over there. Hurry up or it'll get away.
Cameron, wait for me. Harry fell again.
Cameron, Paige, don't leave me behind. Harry, hurry up.
We spent the whole day from morning to night running around the park in fields like this. We grew up like siblings, but as we became adults, changes began to appear in our relationship. I gradually started to develop feelings for Cameron. Of course, I kept it a secret from Cameron, because I'm most afraid of breaking our relationship. And it seems that his younger brother Harry likes me too.
Paige, tomorrow's club activities are off, right? Let's go see a movie.
Or...
Paige, I found a pudding that looks like something you'd like. Let's go buy it. I'll treat you to it.
Or...
Paige, if anything happens, tell me right away. I'll protect you, Paige.
he would push forward aggressively like that. I gradually started to understand how Harry felt. Many of my friends around me often said, "Does Harry like you, Paige?" However, I intentionally avoided touching upon that, to preserve our relationship, you know. However, something unexpected happened on my recent birthday, and what a surprise it was.
Paige, would you consider dating me with marriage in mind?
Suddenly, Cameron proposed to me. I heard that Cameron had liked me for a long time, but like me, he was afraid of ruining our relationship. He hesitated to confess his feelings. We were both in love with each other. However, at that time, Cameron apparently decided to transfer to an overseas branch of his company next year for work.
What if you marry another man while I'm overseas? I would regret it forever. I want to go abroad with you, Paige.
I see. I said yes without hesitation. And a few months after we started dating, before preparations for moving abroad got too busy, we decided to get married. And before that, we arranged to meet each other's parents at a slightly upscale restaurant.
Wow, being able to drink wine while eating delicious food here is the best. Oh dear, today isn't just a meal, it's a family meeting. But well, even though it's a family meeting, we already know each other's faces. Let's enjoy the meal today, as you suggested, shall we? Oh, well, if it's Cameron, I'm not worried at all.
You two haven't changed a bit. But I'm really happy that Paige is marrying Cameron. I'm truly delighted.
I'm glad Cameron became my son-in-law, too. I always thought Paige's happiness was assured. You two make such a lovely couple.
Saying we make a lovely couple, it's embarrassing, but thank you. The place chosen for our first meeting is this popular Italian restaurant in the area. It's usually hard to get a reservation here, but somehow we managed to get one easily. It feels like they're blessing Cameron and me on our new beginning.
And by the way, how's Harry doing?
When we started enjoying the meal, my mother said that.
Oh, well, he's doing all right, I guess.
He really loved that girl, Paige. Maybe he's feeling a bit sulky. It seems like it was pretty obvious to the family that Harry liked me.
Yeah, that could be true. But I did talk to Harry the other day about marrying Paige.
I also mentioned it when we ran into each other the other day.
Well, life has its twists and turns. Well, Harry will figure it out eventually. That's right. Today, Paige, let's drink a lot. You guys, not just today, but every day, right? Well, don't say it like that. Cheers!
Then after a while, my phone rang. The name Harry was on the screen. Hello, Harry. When I answered the phone, I heard Harry's voice sounding frantic.
Paige, sorry, I overslept. Everyone's already gathered, right? I'm sorry to everyone, but let's postpone the marriage greetings. It wouldn't make sense without me. Please, tell them it's postponed for today at least.
Huh? Postpone it because Harry's not here? What is he talking about? The dinner party has already started.
Huh? Hey, that's not right. How can you talk about marriage without me?
Well, it's totally fine even if you're not here.
What are you saying? Alright, I got it. I'll hurry and come now. Anyway, please tell everyone to wait for me.
Wait. Harry hung up the phone just like that. Well, it's not really a problem if Harry's not here. Why is he coming anyway?
What's wrong?
Well, Harry... I spoke quietly to Cameron about the phone call so as not to disturb the atmosphere of the room. After hearing the story, Cameron said,
Is he misunderstanding something?
Huh? I mean, not really misunderstanding, but he doesn't seem to get it at all. I didn't immediately understand what Cameron was thinking, and then Harry arrived. Harry rushed there in a big panic.
Sorry, I'm late. Oh, Harry, you made it. Sorry, but this isn't good, huh? We're getting married after all. I'm really sorry. Really, wake up, Dad, Mom, and my big bro from me, okay? Well, I thought you probably wouldn't want to come. Why not? This is my marriage announcement with Paige, isn't it?
Huh?
You're totally misunderstanding, aren't you?
Cameron sighed heavily in exasperation.
Huh? What? Huh? What do you mean?
What do you mean by that? Looks like I'll have to explain this from the beginning. Cameron and I started explaining the situation to Harry thoroughly from there. As he listened, Harry's face gradually clouded over. In the end, he started crying and throwing a fit.
Why'd you do that? Paige is supposed to marry me, right? I've been dating Paige.
Huh? No, wait. Are you saying you and I are dating? Where did you get that idea? That's not true. First of all, didn't we talk about it clearly when we met the other day? I'm marrying Cameron, so from now on we'll be siblings. Yes, I definitely told Harry that clearly. Cameron, who was next to me, continued.
Didn't I also tell you clearly that I'm marrying Paige? Yeah, you did. You did, but still. Even if I heard it, I absolutely won't accept that.
Anyway, no matter what you say, I'm marrying Cameron. Not you, Harry.
No way!
A 23-year-old man was bawling his eyes out with snot running. We're in a high-class restaurant, you know. Everyone watching was totally shocked.
Harry, seriously, cut it out. Shut up! But there's still something, right? What? You haven't put it in yet, right?
Yeah, well, the marriage registration hasn't been done yet.
Then, come on, let's get married.
No. Like a spoiled child. It's been like this for a long time now. You've become impossible to handle, Harry. There's no way I can date or marry someone like you.
Enough of this. But, I mean, That's no excuse. You know you liked Paige, but have you ever expressed those feelings to her? Well, no. But I thought Paige liked me because Paige has always been kind to me.
Well, we've been close childhood friends after all.
Remember that summer vacation homework? You showed me how to do it, didn't you?
Yeah, because you were goofing off until the last day.
On a rainy day, you put me under your umbrella, didn't you?
Well, we were heading in the same direction to go home, so...
I always, in the mornings, you worried that I might be late.
The teacher also asked me, since we're childhood friends, if there's anything I could do.
Oh. Harry, seriously, get a grip. Isn't it just that you're only thinking about what suits you? First of all, you were the one who was closest to Paige and you didn't realize how she was feeling? Harry, you're embarrassing yourself.
Honestly, this is such a wonderful place, it's a shame to be acting like this.
It's disturbing the other customers, so if you're going to make a fuss, please, leave. Oh, no.
Harry could do nothing but cry at this point. Wiping tears and mucus, he hunched his back and left for somewhere. Now, as for what happened to Harry after that, he became unresponsive to me for a while. We didn't meet in front of the house anymore, nor did I receive any WhatsApp messages. Well, it seems he's just at home and going to work as usual. I think he's avoiding me. And then, after a while longer tomorrow, the day of the wedding finally arrives. Suddenly, Harry came to my house.
Harry, I haven't seen you around for a while. What have you been up to?
My mother asked Harry, to which Harry replied,
I've been trying to sort out my feelings. I purposely avoided passing by Paige's house. I see. And then, have you sorted out your feelings? Yeah, I guess so. I wouldn't have come here otherwise. I have something I need to tell Paige. Paige, are you here? Oh, she's here. Just a moment.
Leaving Harry with those words, my mother called me.
Paige, Harry has something to say. Listen to him.
Okay.
He seems to have toughened up a bit.
When I went to the entrance, Harry looked straight at me and said,
Paige, I'm sorry for causing you trouble all this time. I've liked you for a long time, but I've finally given up, so you can rest assured. I'll never do anything weird, and I wish happiness for you and my brother. Starting tomorrow, please accept me as part of the family and as your brother-in-law.
He said this as he greeted me. Harry.
Well, well.
I was a little surprised. For some reason, I felt really happy. Harry, thank you. Likewise, please be nice to me from now on.
I hope you'll be happy.
Yes, of course. Thank you, Harry. The next day, Cameron and I got married and became husband and wife. Both families' parents were at the wedding, including Harry. Harry cried tears of joy as if it were his own. Seeing that, Cameron and I felt reassured that everything would be okay. Years have passed since then, and we still get along well. As my mother said, Harry seemed to have matured suddenly and become reliable. It seems his work is going well too. I heard from my husband that Harry has found someone he wants to marry. I'm looking forward to meeting this person. That story from back then is now a laughing matter. All's well that ends well, right?
I'm the joint guarantor for my younger brother Frank's housing loan.
Huh? How much is Frank's total repayment amount?
I don't know, I just lent him my name.
It's not that simple. If you're a guarantor, I'm getting a divorce. Samuel is no longer a guarantor. Nancy, please reconsider the divorce, okay? No, I decided to go through with the divorce. No way! I'm Nancy and I'm 30 years old. Today I'm visiting my husband Samuel's parents' house. Frank has your new home.
Oh, it's super comfortable, right, Angie?
Yeah, it's a custom-built home, so we've really got our ideal house. It's honestly the best. The ones speaking were Samuel's younger brother Frank and his wife Angie. Apparently their new home was completed recently. And by the way, even though they are my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, both of them are older than me, so they always seem to act a bit superior towards me. Nancy, come over sometime. Yes, definitely. Please give me a housewarming gift too. I don't want towels or plates or anything like that, so... maybe a brand name bag would be nice. That's not really for our housewarming. Giving the homeowner what they want is the best.
Cool, in that case, I'd like a golf club set.
Wait, Nancy, are you guys not building a house? Didn't you always say you wanted one? Well, I do want a house, but Samuel, what do you think?
Yeah, maybe it's about time.
You're so casual about it.
We'll think about it when the time comes.
I feel like now is the time, though. Oh well.
Nancy, if you long for a house that much, why not live with us?
I definitely don't want to live with the in-laws. Oh dear husband, this house is quite old now, you know. That's right. My mother-in-law, occasionally you're quite helpful. Instead of living here, let's move in with Samuel. Huh? You should live in a duplex. That way, Nancy, you can have your dream home. But having you guys around would make it far from my dream home. It's a shame to demolish this house. It's full of memories, after all. A house that you lived in your whole life.
Indeed, it's packed with memories, but you can make new ones in a new home.
Exactly. No. Samuel, say something.
I don't mind living together, though.
That's not good. If you guys live with us, Samuel's gaming time will be limited, right?
That's not good. Dad, Mom, Nancy and I want to cherish our time together as a married couple.
Well, we hardly have any couple time because you're always gaming, though. Well, but it wouldn't be a problem if it's a duplex.
That's great. Even if it's a duplex, the houses can connect. It's obvious you'll end up coming over for various reasons. I'm sorry, but no.
When it comes to gaming, he can argue this strongly.
But Samuel, aren't you going to take care of them when they're old?
That's right. We can cooperate together on that, can't we? Plus, Frank, you and your family have moved out, so it's fair, isn't it? Why are you pushing this on us? No, I'm not trying to push anything. I'm just suggesting we cooperate. Oh, the stress is unbearable. Having to deal with my in-laws and brother-in-law's family is a huge stress for me. Right now, we only have to see them during summer holidays and New Year's, but when we think about their elder care, we'll have to see them more often, and it'll really get on my nerves. The next day. Yesterday was supposed to be a day off, but because I went to my parents-in-law's house, I couldn't relax and I have to go to work. Let's take a different road home. It might change my mood a little. I work in the sales department of a food company. Right now, I'm on my way back from visiting a client's company. I visit this town once a month, but it's really a nice place. It's a quiet residential area and there are supermarkets and pharmacies nearby, so shopping is convenient. Commute is easy too. It's perfect here. I wish I could live around here. A newly built model home? The exterior is just what I envisioned.
Hello there.
Hi there.
We're currently holding a viewing event for this property. Would you like to take a look?
I really want to see it, but I'm at work right now. Could I visit this weekend?
Of course, here's a brochure for you. It includes other properties too, so please have a look.
Thank you very much. Is this fate? Yesterday we talked about my dream home, and today, when I decided to take a different route home than usual, it felt like everything was guided by fate. It might sound a bit dramatic, but I really feel like this property is meant for me. I'll discuss with Samuel tonight. So, how about we go to the open house?
Sure.
You don't seem excited.
Yeah, I haven't seen the exterior. Is a spec-built home okay? Since you mentioned wanting a custom-built home, I thought that was what you wanted.
Custom-built homes are nice, but they're expensive. The good thing about spec-built homes is that you can buy after seeing the finished house.
Well, that's true.
So let's go check it out. It's free just to visit.
Oh, okay.
On the day of the open house. Wow, the interior is amazing. The kitchen and bathroom are just like my ideal. And the living room is so spacious, it's absolutely perfect. What's with that lukewarm reaction?
It just feels kind of ordinary.
Well, there are similar properties out there, of course. But the neighborhood is nice, and it's close to the office, which is great. And most importantly, it's farther from my in-laws' place now. The fact that Frank's place will be closer to his parents' place is also a big plus. Look, Samuel, check out this room.
A study? It's kinda small.
Let's make this into your game room, Samuel. You can customize it freely, and best of all, it's not an apartment, so making noise won't be a problem. Samuel, you often play games while chatting on voice, right?
Alright, let's go with this.
So easy to persuade. So let's approach this positively and ask the staff about various things, like initial costs and loans.
Alright, let's talk numbers. Will you be using a home loan?
Yes, that's the plan.
Understood. There's a review process for home loans, and if you pass it, then you'll have a contract. It can be a bit strict, but sometimes adding a cosigner can help with approval. Would you consider a cosigner?
Yes, that's fine.
Huh? I'm already a cosigner.
Wait, what? Whose loan is that?
Frank's home loan.
Huh? I had no idea about this.
I thought it might not matter to you, Nancy. It's not that big of a deal.
No, it is a big deal. How much is Frank's total repayment amount?
I don't know. I see. It might make the approvals process stricter, but it doesn't mean you won't pass. Let's try the review process.
Yes, please. 1 week later. Yes, I see. Yes. I understand. Thank you very much. Samuel, our dream home is gone.
What? Why?
It's because you're a cosigner, isn't it?
I didn't know. I didn't think becoming someone's cosigner would prevent us from getting a home loan.
I'm not just amazed at your lack of knowledge, but I'm most amazed at your decision to act without consulting me. I also considered taking out a home loan in my name, but we want children. If we have children, I might become a full-time housewife, so I wanted to keep the house in your name for the future.
Well, don't get so angry.
Does Angie also know that you're a cosigner?
Of course she does.
And your parents? Asking your married older brother to be a cosigner is just unthinkable.
Dad and Mom obviously know about it too. Besides, I heard about this from Dad. He said, since you don't mind, could you be Frank's cosigner?
What? Why did you agree to be a cosigner when even your father doesn't want to be?
Well, I just thought it was lending my name, that's all.
You're hiding something else, aren't you?
Well, he mentioned he'd buy me the latest gaming console.
What? Come to think of it, a few months ago, Samuel bought the latest gaming console. I didn't suspect anything and continued with my daily routine. But to think he became a co-signer because of a game console? Unbelievable. Samuel, do you understand what it means to be a joint guarantor? If Frank and them can't pay, we'll have to pay instead, you know.
It's okay. They've been paying without any problems so far.
Frank is self-employed. We don't know what could happen anytime. I remember he said something about being a buyer or something. It just seems a little suspicious, you know.
But please, don't be so angry. Trust our family.
There's no way I can trust you. A husband who doesn't talk about such important matters with his wife? And my father-in-law taking advantage of his son's stupidity with games?
You don't have to say it like that.
You're so annoying. I'm going to your parents. The weekend. So please replace the joint guarantor. Oh, I'll repay the cost of the game console. Of course, from Samuel's allowance.
Please stop. Even if you say that, I only suggested it to Samuel. It was Samuel who decided.
And that's right. It's Samuel's fault for not telling you, Nancy.
What the heck? You're blaming me alone and didn't explain the risks at all.
Nowadays, there's the internet, right? You should research it yourself. You're an adult. As adults, stop blaming each other and passing responsibility.
Well, if you want a house, shouldn't you live with us after all?
Yes, that would be best. That's not the point here. I'm asking to change the joint guarantor. If Samuel continues as the joint guarantor, I will divorce him.
Divorce? Nancy, are you serious?
Yes, it's been about 2 weeks since I found out Samuel was the joint guarantor. I've thought a lot about my future with Samuel. A husband who doesn't talk about such important matters, and a brother-in-law and his wife who seem to have some ulterior motives. Thinking that I have to stick with these people for the rest of my life really turned me off. I don't want to waste my life.
Wait a minute. It's absurd to talk about divorce without discussing it first.
You're the one who didn't discuss it with me, right?
Well, yeah, but... We understand, Nancy. Please, don't mention divorce.
That's right. It would bring shame to the family to have a divorced person. And since you've married once, you need to think about us too. What about caregiving? Figure that out for yourself. You have the internet now, don't you? Please find a solution on your own. Seems like there's some issue here.
Anyway, I'll contact Frank. We'll discuss this another day.
Understood. Let's meet again in a week. If we don't set a deadline, it'll just keep dragging on. 1 week later. We were supposed to gather at my in-laws to discuss things, but, well, as soon as I arrived, Angie started yelling at me. Nancy, what are you thinking of doing? Divorce? Are you kidding me? What about the joint guarantor? It's fine if it's someone other than Samuel, right? Or do you have another reason why I shouldn't be here? That's... Just like mother-in-law, she's hiding something, isn't she? Anyway, if you want a house that badly, you should just live with us. Oh, but don't get carried away just because you live here. Once the in-laws are gone, we'll take the land and house and sell them. And just because you're part of the eldest son's family doesn't mean we'll hand it over. Huh? So basically, they're saying they'll leave all the caregiving to me if it's needed, but they'll take the inheritance? What a selfish demand. I understand your position, Angie. Even if I were to live in this house temporarily, the issue of the joint guarantor is separate. Unless this is resolved, I will proceed with the divorce.
So I'll step down as the joint guarantor. Hey, are you abandoning your brother? If I don't step down as the joint guarantor, I'll be abandoning Nancy.
That's right. With Samuel like this, I doubt he can remarry, and there's hardly anyone else for Nancy. A subtle diss toward Samuel, huh? I see, so that's what this is about. I figured out the real reason behind the discomfort I felt when talking with my mother-in-law, thanks to what Angie said.
Nancy, your mother and I have been together for about 40 years, and we've been through a lot. Nancy's better not to give in so easily.
Yes, that's right. If you get discouraged by something like this, you're too weak. Seriously, it's all Nancy's fault. If Nancy hadn't complained, we could have continued as usual.
That's right. Samuel, you need to get it together. Well,
Samuel, I'm sorry for being too harsh. You're being deceived by your father and mother.
Huh?
If you're a joint guarantor, we won't be able to take out a mortgage. and they thought they could persuade us by offering your family home to me, who wants a house. If we move into the family home, they'll be secure when they need caregiving in the future, and they can leave the household chores to me. That's what your father and mother were thinking.
What? Don't mess around, Dad. That's not true. It wasn't me. Originally, it was Angie's idea.
Wait a minute, Dad. If you say that...
It's all coming out now. I originally thought Angie was the mastermind, but I had to mention your father's name to get the truth out.
You deceived us?
Who deceived whom?
Wait, I don't understand at all.
Well, simply put, these four were each working for their own self-interests. Frank and Angie may seem to be looking out for your father, but they just want to escape caregiving and dealing with your mother. Your father and mother wanted either Frank or you to move into the family home. So they tried to use Frank to get you to move in.
What? I'm definitely stepping down as the joint guarantor.
Afterward, Samuel and I consulted a lawyer and started the procedures. First, we approached Angie's parents to find relatives who could become joint guarantors. They probably thought Angie's parents had already refused to become joint guarantors once, but...
You idiot!
He really feels like a stubborn old-fashioned father from the 1950s.
I've repeatedly told you not to buy a house that requires a joint guarantor.
What do you mean?
Once Angie mentioned the need for a joint guarantor. Normally when buying a house, it should be fine without a joint guarantor. However, the fact that it was necessary implies that with their income, they would face strict scrutiny and be considered unable to repay. That's why I strongly advised against pushing to buy a house.
But I wanted my dream home.
Even so, you shouldn't cause trouble for others. And to collude with the in-laws to deceive Samuel is absolutely outrageous.
Well, Samuel's head is as empty as a bell pepper, but...
Nancy, Samuel, I sincerely apologize for this incident. I'll personally take on the role of joint guarantor.
Thank you very much.
If there's even a single delay in payments, the house will be immediately put up for sale. Understood?
Yes.
Our father sure is quite intimidating, huh? Even confident Angie seemed to shrink back. Well, then shall we get back to work with just one more thing? So we've had our lawyer come in. Dad, it's settled that you'll gift this house to Samuel, correct?
Yeah. Wait, what about my rights?
Yeah, we should have half the rights too.
If you're going to be the caregivers, that's a different story.
That's...
I won't do anything for you two who won't care for us.
Damn it.
In the first place, inheritance isn't your concern, Angie. Since the day I exposed the truth, relations between my in-laws and Frank's family have been very bad. Well, it's tit for tat, but that's how things go between us. I'm satisfied that I was able to get the better of Frank's family. Alright, this concludes it.
Samuel, I've made this gift to you, so don't let me down from now on. We'll see how it goes. What did you say? That's not what we agreed on. You guys deceived me too, so it's even. Well, I'll help out with caregiving to the extent I won't get reported for negligence.
Well then, Samuel, this involves you too.
A divorce notice? What are you thinking? But we just made the gift. Even though Samuel isn't a guarantor anymore. Were you deceiving us?
You have no right to say that. Besides, the gift is about Samuel, not me. Gifts and guarantors have nothing to do with me personally. If we had just divorced quickly without going through all this trouble, it might have been easier. Even though we are divorcing, I was angered by being belittled and looked down upon by someone I once loved. And besides, I still have a bit of sentiment left.
I understand. Hey! Why are you accepting this? If Nancy wants it that way, I have no choice. And she's stuck with me until the end. I have no right to argue.
Well, well, looks like there's more to you than meets the eye.
Mind your own business.
Likewise. Honestly, I felt a bit nostalgic about Samuel in the end. I also struggled with my decision. I dream of someday spending time with a new family in a lovely new home, and I want to move forward with a positive new life.
My husband of 10 years said, "My younger mistress is pregnant, let's divorce." Me. Then take care of the kids. Him. What?
What should I make for dinner today? I got some leftover chicken, so I could use that. No, we have leftover stew from yesterday, so we'll have stew. I'm home. There are shoes here. Frank must be back. He's home unusually early today. Frank, I'm home.
Yeah, I know. Yesterday was a lot of fun. I never thought I'd meet someone like you at the bar. Wanna go to the hotel today too? Don't worry, my wife is working late tonight. Young girls are way better than some old lady. See you later then.
La 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 la. Today we're having a stew. Let's see what the best dish for a household with teenage boys tastes like. Oh, you're back, Kevin. Can't you at least say you're home?
Who cares?
Really? That's the first thing you say when you come home?
My gym clothes are dirty. Wash them.
Alright, dinner's almost ready, so leave them on the table. Ta-da! We're having stew tonight. And there's plenty of potatoes, so eat up.
This looks amazing.
You two are just going to sit there in silence?
Looks good. Yeah.
Oh, come on. My name is Katie. I'm a 42-year-old housewife and work part-time at a supermarket. My family consists of my husband Frank, who's 4 years younger than me, and our sons Kevin and Ryan. We have a pretty typical happy family, but I have one big problem. How's the food?
It's okay.
Kevin, what about you?
Same as always, it's fine.
Jeez, you guys are so full of energy, aren't you? The problem is that my sons are in their rebellious phase. They're 15 and 16, right in the middle of their teenage years. So no matter what I say, they always react with defiance. It's just part of growing up, and as a parent, I should be happy they're growing up well. But still. Hey, no smartphones while eating.
Whatever.
Don't say that. You need to have some manners.
Fine. I'm done.
Already? There's still food left. You like stew, don't you?
I'm good.
And they're both back in their rooms. I guess this is what happens when kids are teenagers, but is it because I'm not their bio mom? Are they avoiding me? A normal family wouldn't have to worry about things like this, but since my two sons are stepkids, I sometimes feel insecure. But that's out of my control, and I love them in my own way. But there's something that troubles me even more than my teenage sons. That is...
Thanks for the food. I'm heading out for a bit.
This late?
Yeah, just going for a drink.
But you work tomorrow, right?
It's fine, I'm just going out for a little drink. Hello? Oh, Mandy? I was just thinking of coming to your bar. Don't worry, I can stay out late. See you soon.
Hey, Frank, who's Mandy? Are you cheating again? The thing that troubles me more than my sons is my husband's cheating habit. He's always been the type to be popular with women and knows how to handle them. I fell for him because of that too. I thought that if we got married, I could rein him in and fix this side of him. But even after getting married, his cheating never stopped, and it only got worse over the nearly 20 years we've been married. Well, since he said Mandy's bar, it must be a bar girl or something. If it's a bar worker and not some regular woman, I guess it's not as bad. They say cheating is like catching a cold after all. I was starting to resign myself to this thought. Welcome! We have calamari on sale today. Hey Katie, how's it going?
Not
great. The calamari isn't selling. Yeah, people don't usually buy calamari to cook at home. And the slogan isn't helping either. Well, it's a favor for the fish supplier the boss is friends with. We really need to sell it all. If it doesn't sell, we'll have to deal with the leftovers ourselves, right? Like last time, we ended up eating the same food for weeks. Let's try to sell it all. By the way, Katie, it's your break time now. I'll take over. Okay, thanks. A few hours later. Katie, it's time for you to go. Alright, thanks. Man, I'm exhausted. Let's keep pushing the calamari sale tomorrow. In the middle of a mundane day like this, it suddenly happened. What should I make for dinner today? I got some leftover chicken, so I could use that. No, we have leftover stew from yesterday, so we'll have stew. I'm home. There are shoes here. Frank must be back. He's home unusually early today. Frank, I'm home.
Yeah, I know. Yesterday was a lot of fun. I never thought I'd meet someone like you at the bar. Wanna go to a hotel today too? Don't worry, my wife is working late tonight. Young girls are way better than some old lady. See you later then.
No way, Frank. You're cheating again? If it was just flirting with bar girls, I might manage, but this is definitely some regular girl. And he's taking her to a hotel. I can't cry now. That would mean he wins. I need to stay strong. I'm home.
Oh, hi. I thought you were working late today.
Yeah, but a coworker told me I could leave early.
Oh, I see.
Is there a problem with me coming home early?
Of course not. Stop being suspicious.
Right. Because you would never cheat on me again, right?
Of course not. After what happened last time, I wouldn't dare. Stop with the weird accusations. I'm sweating.
You must be hungry. Dinner will be ready soon.
Yeah, thanks. I guess I'll hop in the shower real quick.
I tried to subtly probe, but of course, he wouldn't admit to cheating. His reaction was so telling, though. Talking about it made me feel a bit better, but it didn't solve anything, but my unease remained. The next day, I couldn't shake off the feeling and struggled to focus at work. Katie, what's wrong? You've been sighing all day. Is everything okay? You noticed? Actually, no, everything is not okay. I knew it. I knew this calamari fare isn't working well. I mean, the manager ordered way too much. Hasn't he learned anything from the last mistake? I know, right? But that's not what I meant. Oh? Yeah. So why the long face? Actually, I think my husband is cheating on me. Oh no, that's awful. Sorry for bringing my personal stuff to work and making careless mistakes. This isn't professional. Oh, don't you worry. Of course you're going to have a hard time focusing. Anyone would. But you're handling it really well. If it were me, I'd probably take the day off. Yeah, being at home just makes me more anxious, so I thought coming to work would help. But it hasn't really. The world's so unfair. You've done nothing wrong. Yet you're the one feeling stressed. How about getting a massage to relieve some stress? They say physical relaxation can help the mind too. A massage might help, but I don't know if it'll solve the bigger issue. Or how about yoga? I started recently and it's great for both exercise and stress relief. Want to try? A massage or yoga sounds nice, but they won't fix the core problem. I need something more. Oh, I've got a great idea, Katie.
Why are you in such a good mood?
What do you mean?
You seem awfully cheerful lately. Are you up to something?
Am I up to something? That's more your style, don't you think?
Why bring me into this?
I started going to a yoga class. The kids don't need me as much anymore, so it's a good way to stay active and de-stress.
What? Yoga class? How much is that costing us?
Nothing outrageous. It's about $100 a month.
$100? We can't afford that. You started working to cover the kids' expenses. If you have extra time, work more shifts instead.
It's my own money. I use my allowance for it. What's wrong with having a hobby?
Instead of wasting time and money, why not support your hard-working husband?
Hard-working? You could save money by not going out drinking every night. I work, take care of the kids, and do housework. I work harder than you do.
Harder than me? That's not true. I cover 80% of our expenses. You waste $100 every month.
At least I don't spend it on cheating. You really think I didn't know? I heard you talking to another woman. We'd have more money if you stopped splurging on your mistress.
If you keep this up, I'll divorce you.
Fine, let's divorce. I'm sick of your cheating.
Okay, but you'll take care of the kids. It's better for them to stay with their mother.
Seriously? You expect me to take care of your kids?
Yeah, they're our kids.
No, they're from your affair before we got married. Their mom abandoned them and I took them in.
Because you couldn't have kids yourself. I did you a favor.
Wow, that was for me? You're so sweet. Thanks, but no thanks.
You've been with them for 16 years. Don't you have any feelings for them?
Of course I do. I've cared for them since the day they were born. But as they grow up, they remind me more and more of that woman you cheated with, and it's just too painful. So no, I won't take care of them. One kid is one thing, but two, and both in their rebellious phase, no way.
I get that. I left all the parenting to you, and now I wouldn't even know how to talk to them.
They're not my biological kids. I've never had any blood relatives in this house. Not one in the last 16 years.
Alright, fine. I thought I could leave the kids with you and start fresh, but it looks like I'll have to take them with me. Luckily, my new girlfriend is a rich CEO's daughter, so they'll have a better life. And she's 10 years younger than you, still in her 20s.
Oh, good for you.
Plus, she's pregnant with my child, so I'll finally have my own real family.
You sound so excited. Just so you know, I didn't legally adopt these kids, so you won't get any child support. And I'll be filing for alimony and everything else.
That's fine. Like I said, I'm marrying a CEO's daughter. Money won't be an issue for me.
And so our 16-year marriage ended. I collected all the evidence of his infidelities and successfully sued for a substantial amount of alimony. Frank acted unfazed at the time.
Huh, this amount is nothing.
But then...
What the hell? What's wrong, Dad? Let's go to the new house. Wait, every time I call her it says the number is disconnected. What? Why? We'll go to her place. What? The house is gone? She tricked me!
That's right, Frank's new girlfriend never existed. That day at work, my coworker suggested hiring a breakup agent. Oh, I have an idea. What is it? Ever heard of a breakup agent? Breakup agent? What is that? They specialize in ending marriages using things like honey traps. Wow, sounds just like what I needed. So I hired one to set up Frank. Frank, you're so charming.
You've stolen my heart.
Do you have plans afterward? Want to come to my room later?
Really?
A few months later.
Looks like I'm pregnant.
With my child?
That's how it went.
Katie, glad you got the divorce.
Thanks for everything.
Frank believed every lie. It was too easy.
I'm embarrassed as his ex-wife. Frank quit his job believing he'd marry a CEO's daughter. He's now deep in debt, living in a shabby apartment with his sons who have to work part-time. I got my revenge and some money, and now I'm happily single. It's a bit lonely, but I'm living a free and peaceful life. Next up is, my selfish husband belittled me and said, "Leave if you defy me." My daughter and I moved to a hotel, and a strong ally appeared. I'm Lenny. I've been a housewife for 5 years, living in San Francisco with my husband Greg and our 5-year-old daughter Anna. We met through a mutual friend and got married a year later. I was born and raised in New York, but I fell in love with Greg's kindness and moved all the way to San Francisco. But his kindness didn't last. He gradually turned into a domineering husband and started treating me harshly. I thought having a child might change him, but when Anna was born, his attitude only got worse. Yet he is good at keeping up appearances, so he has many friends and my parents don't know his true nature. That's why I couldn't talk to anyone or complain. He never helps with housework or childcare, and his domineering behavior only grows. I've endured this life for 5 years, but lately I'm getting really tired.
Man, I'm starving.
Welcome home.
What's for dinner? Ugh, don't tell me it's curry.
Yes, it is.
What the hell? I had curry for lunch. As my wife, you should know that.
I do? Well, you could have told me.
You should just know these things. You're so clueless. Make me a steak now.
A steak right now? But I already made curry. How about tomorrow?
I want steak today. It's my favorite. You should always have it ready.
Mommy, I'm hungry. Is the curry ready?
Sorry, sweetie. I'll get it ready soon.
My steak comes first.
I'll get Anna fed first, then I'll make your steak. Please wait a bit.
I'm your husband. I should come first. What kind of wife are you? A good wife prioritizes her husband, especially when he comes home tired.
All right, don't yell. Anna, sweetie, could you wait a bit? I'll give you some pudding before dinner as a special treat. You can eat this while you wait, okay?
Yay, pudding!
Hurry up.
Okay. Greg is always like this, demanding and selfish. If he doesn't get his way, he whines endlessly, so I hold back my feelings and just take it. A few days later, Anna had a fever at night. I was taking a taxi to the hospital when Greg called.
Hey, it's an emergency.
What's wrong?
I forgot my wallet. I think I left it by the front door. Did you see it?
Oh, I didn't notice it.
Are you kidding me? You're home all day and you didn't see it? Managing the house is your job.
I'm sorry.
I shouldn't have to tell you. A good wife would notice and bring it to my office. You're so useless.
I'm sorry. I'm on my way to the hospital now. I'll look for it when I get home.
Hospital?
Anna has a fever, so I'm taking her to the hospital.
Why does she have a fever?
The flu is going around at her preschool. She has a slight fever, but I want to get her checked just in case. It might take a while.
You can't even take care of our child's health? You're home all day.
You don't have to say it like that.
I need my wallet. I have a night out with friends. Unlike you, I have lots of friends and I value my social life.
The hospital might be busy, so it could take a while. I'll text you as soon as we're done.
You're useless. Talking to you just makes me angry.
And he hung up. He always boasts about his many friends and puts me down for not having any. I have friends from school, but he never lets me go out or drink with them. At the hospital, Anna was diagnosed with the flu. That night, while I was taking care of her, Greg came home drunk.
The king has returned.
Shh, keep it down. Anna just fell asleep.
Why should I tiptoe in my own house?
Please, just keep it down.
Hey, don't you have something to say? You made my day terrible. How could you forget my wallet? You're really useless.
I'm sorry.
Flu can be prevented with proper hygiene. This happened because you're a bad mother. You and Anna should sleep in another room so I don't get sick.
Okay.
And I'm going fishing with friends tomorrow. Wake me up at 6.
All right. Anna was restless with fever all night. Every time she cried, he kept banging on the wall from the next room, so I had to hold her until she calmed down. By morning, her fever had gone down. but after waking Greg and sending him off, I felt chills and dizziness. Maybe I caught the flu from her. I gave her some food and medicine and then lay down myself. I thought I'd feel better after resting, but my fever got worse and I felt dizzy. Then Greg called.
I'm having a party at home today, so take Anna and go somewhere else.
What? You know she is sick, right?
Her fever has broken. She's better now.
No, she's not fully recovered, and I think I have the flu too. I have a fever.
Great. Just what I needed. Now you really need to leave.
I can't.
Go to your parents' house.
They're in New York. That's impossible. I can't even move right now.
I don't care. Just get out. Are you trying to ruin my social life? You don't understand friendship because you don't have any. You'd be a loner if I hadn't taken you in.
I have friends. I'm not a loner.
Yeah, right. It's a hassle that your family's so far away. If they cared about you, they'd be here now, but they're not, so they must hate you too.
What are you saying? You should care more about Anna if you love her as her father. Forget it already. We'll get a hotel for the night. Despite feeling weak, I packed our things and prepared to go to a hotel. Anna, concerned, helped me out. I managed to book a hotel and check in. As soon as we got to the room, I collapsed on the bed and lost consciousness. My body was hot and in pain, but my forehead felt cool and soothing. When I opened my eyes, I saw my mom, who was supposed to be in New York. Mom, why are you here?
I had things to take care of nearby and texted you, but you didn't reply. So I called and Anna answered. She told me you were sick and staying at this hotel. She told me everything.
She did?
Yeah, she said Greg told you to go to a hotel because you're sick. I can't believe he would do that. I'm so sorry, I didn't realize.
Mom. Feeling weak, I hugged my mom and cried. I told her everything Greg had done since we got married. After getting treatment at the hospital and taking the prescribed medicine, I felt so much better. I started to doze off, and before I knew it, I was asleep. While I slept, my mom, furious, went to confront Greg. She found him drunk, bad-mouthing me to his friends.
She's so useless. I'd leave her, but she's so attached to me. She's just a convenient housekeeper. Plus, her family has money, so I'm milking it.
Good evening, Greg.
Oh, why are you in San Francisco? What's going on?
I came because my daughter is sick.
Oh, really?
I came to get some of her clothes and heard all the noise. What's going on?
Well, Lenny said she wanted to stay at a hotel, so I'm meeting with friends. I wanted some company, you know.
I see. By the way, which one of you is Trevor and which is David?
I'm David. I'm Trevor. Nice to meet you, ma'am.
You seem like nice people. I thought you'd be different.
What do you mean?
Seems like you two have already made up. Didn't you ask Greg for help after getting into trouble with some women and stole some money from work? He told me he wanted to help you, and I thought, wow, what a kind man Greg is.
Me? I've never done anything like that. I live happily with my family and don't need any help.
Oh, what about you, Trevor? Greg said you needed money for your dad's surgery overseas. He asked me if I could help out, so I gave him some money. Did he recover?
What? My dad's fine. He didn't need surgery.
Oh dear, what's going on?
Greg, what's this all about?
Did you lie to people about us so you could get their money?
Well, this is... Enough. When will you stop? Calm down. We're friends. We can work this out. Not anymore. We're done. What? We've known each other forever. We've hated your arrogance and selfishness for a long time. We never really enjoyed hanging out with you. Everyone hates you at work, too. We stuck around out of pity. Not anymore.
No way.
Don't contact us again. Wait, am I really hated at work? You're kidding, right?
Well, I have what I need, so I'll get going. Please send the rest of my daughter's things to New York.
What?
The divorce papers will arrive soon. Goodbye.
Wait, divorce? Seriously? Like, divorce?
They told me he looked so pathetic that it was almost funny. I wish I could have seen it. He had been lying and borrowing money from my mom, which she suspected. She hired a detective and found out he was spending it on gambling and women. She came to San Francisco to tell me this. Greg bragged about his friends, but he was actually disliked. He lost his friends and us. He called and texted a few times saying he didn't want a divorce, but with the guilt of deceiving my mom, he finally agreed. At work, he was ignored by David and Trevor. He's now isolated and can't quit due to alimony and mortgage payments. I moved back to New York and live in an apartment near my parents with Anna. Starting next spring, I'll work as a secretary at an international trading company thanks to my uncle. I graduated from an Italian university and speak Italian fluently. Greg always looked down on me, calling me a loner, but I have many friends from my time abroad. He never let me travel, but now I can take Anna and explore the world.